Welcome to this video. In our previous video, we talked about the introduction of strength of material, and we explained that the strength of material is the study of how an object resists applied force, how it resists the applied forces without breaking. And we said it helps us to design machines, structures, and materials that can resist load and deformation. So in this video, we are going to be talking about force equilibrium. We're going to be talking about force equilibrium. We're going to be talking about force equilibrium. So before we proceed, what do you understand by the term force? What do you understand by the term force? All right, we say force is the push or pull. So force is the push or pull. A force is a push or pull causing a body causing a body to move, causing a body or object to move from one point to another, to move from one point to another. So we say a force is a push or pull causing a body or an object rather to move from one point to another. Now these forces act on an object. Now it's causing this object to move either in the direction of the force applied. All right, so if you push an object forward, you stand eastward and you are pushing an object northward, definitely the object is going to go in that northward direction towards you are pushing. So we say the force you exert on that object causes the object to move from that point where it was to a different point. All right, so how can we know if these forces are going to be in equilibrium? First of all, what is equilibrium? Equilibrium, we can simply say, is the state of equality. Now when you are pushing an object forward, there is an other force that is pushing the object in the opposite direction of your force which you applied. Now if you are pushing an object in a neat eastward direction, and there is an other force pushing that object from that eastward direction towards you. Now if you push the object with 10 Newton, this is what I'm trying to say. If this is a load, and you applied a force this side to be 10 Newton, now and there is an opposing force this side that is pushing this object this direction. Now this opposing side also is 10 Newton. Now you see that the total force you applied here is equal to the total force that is pulling the object backward. Now you see that if you apply 10 Newton and there's another 10 Newton acting on this body is not going to move. This body is not going to do what? Move. All right, that is where the equilibrium of force comes in. So what then is equilibrium of force? Now we understand that these two forces acting on this body, we assume them to be a net force. Now we can simply say force equilibrium. We can simply say force equilibrium, or a force is said to be in equilibrium. Rather, a force is said to be in equilibrium a force is said to be in equilibrium if the net force is equal to 0. If the net force acting on the body is equal to 0, we said the body is in force equilibrium. There is a force pushing it this way, and there's another force that is opposing the push of this force. You understand? You are pushing it 10 Newton, and there's an opposing force of 10 Newton. So if you subtract 10 from 10, this object is going to remain in the same place. So these two forces acting on it, we call it the net force. Net force is just the total force acting on the body. So the total force acting on this body is equal to 0. So if the total force acting on the body is equal to 0, we refer that force to be in equilibrium. Thank you very much for watching my video. Would you follow my channel, subscribe to it for more details. Thank you.